Let's put on the next slide. So we're talking about, qualifying the lead and who we should be talking to. When we're doing this, we also need to understand that we need to meet people where they are, right? We're going to encounter people at varying levels of engagement. Some people are going to like what we're doing from a distance. Some people are going to hit the ground running and organizing. Some people are going to be somewhere in between, right? And that's normal. That's natural. People have different levels of availability and resources. People have different levels of knowledge and skills. People have different levels of commitment, and we cannot get into playing these games of setting up a hierarchy of who cares more. Right? I'm willing to commit 20 hours a week, and you're only willing to commit 5, and therefore I can't. I care more, and my voice should hold more weight. No. Again, especially when we're organizing in the working class, we need to offer a variety of ways to get involved, and we need to offer a variety of levels that people can involve, and we need to provide support for people when they do it. And that may mean something like, does your meeting have childcare? Because if it doesn't, you're excluding people with children, right? Is your meeting in a bar? Well, you're likely going to be excluding some people who don't want to be in that setting for whatever reason, whether it be the predatory nature that is often, inside or a core part of U.S. bar culture, or it could be because it could threaten their sobriety to meet in such a place, or it could be because a bar and alcohol is a terrible place to have political conversations and engagement, especially if it's not a closed space, right? It's a little different when you're sitting around having a beer with your comrades, but when you go into a bar, you open up to the outside and you open up to, people who are inebriated on the outside. So, think about where people can engage, and you need to meet them where they're at. So we should have multiple ways to engage with your chapters. Business meetings are not for everyone, but that's the primary access point for the Green Party. And we severely limit our new engagement, right? Potential to get new members by doing that. When the only way for you to get involved in the Green Party in your community is to show up at a meeting talking about things that you don't understand because you're new, talking about really deep inside baseball. And frankly, in most Green Party meetings I've been to, having a very inefficient meeting that's not very respectful of people's limited time, right? But if we have multiple ways to get people involved, we can more easily cater to different levels of interest and with different event types that can bring a broader community of people in, right? So you've got your business meeting; those have to happen, right? They keep the organization running. Education events are a great way to to expand that. Social events are a great way to expand that. Protests and rallies are a great way to expand that. Open office hours where you can, people can come in on a Zoom call, or if you're into a person's home, or if you're lucky enough to have an office, into the office, and work collaboratively, right? And work in parallel, work on the things together, and have these conversations in a more informal manner. But people are more apt to get involved if they're in organizing, if there are opportunities that align with their skill set and passions. They're less likely to show up if they're simply tasked with a job that no one else is doing and they're not interested in. So you need to make sure you're engaging people in a way that are appropriate for their interest level and skill set. One key way to keep this going is to develop a mentorship system where people who have experience doing certain tasks or performing certain roles work with other members to develop the necessary skills and train them to be able to do the work, right? In the Green Party and independent socialist organizing, people are already wearing too many hats, right? Because we're low resources, because we're grassroots, we don't have enough people to do the tasks that we need sometimes, and so we start putting on way too many hats, and it means way too many failure points. It leads to burnout. And so if you're the media director of your local chapter or your state party, ask your membership, does anyone have interest in learning how to do this? How to write press releases, how to follow up with press, how to build relationships, how to do social media, right? How to do effective graphics and copywriting, that kind of stuff. And when you have some hands raised up, say, okay, come on. It's going to take some of the workload off of you because you're going to have people helping. It's going to pass along skills to them, and it's going to set you up with fail safes so that when something happens in your life or work really gets really bad, really gets heavy on you for a minute and you have to step back, you're able to do that, and someone can step in and you don't have to worry about it, right? Because this also, besides burnout, the other thing that us wearing too many hats tends to lead to is that we're afraid to say step back, right? And we go and we go and we go until it just falls apart. Um, Part of being a good organizer is knowing when to say I need help. And it's hard to ask for help if you don't if you know there's not any there. So take an active role through a mentorship program of developing that fallback, of developing your backups. And this is something that I 100% personally am guilty of, right? But everyone's in a different phase of their evolution politically and as a third party. Many people come to us as they are changing trajectories. That's why political education is super important, and democratic processes are essential to work through political disagreements and develop a common foundation and perspective, right? So we need to meet people where they are, but we also need to provide the political education and clear democratic processes for how things work and how we make decisions so that we can get people to where we need them to be. um, that's a key part of it.